Ever woken up on a private jet with no recollection of how you got there? That's exactly how my morning began, utterly disoriented, surrounded by the quiet hum of an aircraft in motion and the unyielding gaze of 3 strikingly beautiful bodyguards. Confusion swirled in my mind as I tried to piece together the fragments of the night before. There was the pulsating energy of the nightclub, the rhythmic beat of music that echoed in my ears even now. I remembered the anticipation, waiting for Dollar, the elusive Lion of Pratt, to make his appearance. The thrill of the chase, the hunt for the truth, it was all so tangible. And then there was the drink, a cocktail, its taste still lingering on my lips, a toast to the night, to the adventure, to the story that was about to unfold. But something went wrong. The world spun, the lights dimmed, and the last thing I remember is the taste of my cocktail. And then, darkness. Ever been surrounded by beauty that threatens instead of comforts? That was my reality as I found myself in the company of 3 strikingly beautiful bodyguards. Unnerving wasn't the word. It was more like being in the presence of 3 icy sculptures, their beauty so perfect, so precise, it could only have been crafted by the hand of an artist. Yet beneath the surface of their flawless exteriors, there was an unmistakable sense of danger, a lethal undercurrent that sent chills down my spine. The first was a statuesque redhead, her fiery hair cascading down like a waterfall of molten lava. Her eyes, as green as emeralds, held a gaze that seemed to pierce right through me. The second had the graceful poise of a ballet dancer, her dark skin glowing like polished obsidian. Her eyes, a captivating hazel, were watchful and wary. The third was a blonde, an enigma, her sapphire eyes as cold and as deep as the ocean. I attempted conversation, hoping to glean some insight into their lives, their loyalties, their motivations. But my efforts were met with cryptic smiles and an unyielding silence that was as impenetrable as a fortress. Their lips remained sealed, their expressions inscrutable. It was as if they had taken a vow of silence, their voices silenced by some unspoken pact. As the jet soared through the skies, the situation grew stranger with every passing minute. My apprehensions surged like a tidal wave, the mystery of it all gnawing at the edges of my sanity. What was Dollar's game? Why had he agreed to meet me? And why was I being accompanied by these enigmatic bodyguards? Questions swirled in my mind like a tempest, but answers were as elusive as shadows in the dark. Their silence was louder than any words, filling the jet with an ominous hum. Yet, amidst the fear and uncertainty, I couldn't shake off the thrill of the unknown. The game was afoot, and I was in the eye of the storm. Ever received an invitation from the most dangerous man in the world? That's how my story with Dollar, the Lion of Pratt, began. A man with a reputation so mysterious it's almost mythical. A man who, despite being the subject of my documentary, was as elusive as a ghost. Dollar was a puzzle, a riddle wrapped in an enigma. Rumors about him swirled like a whirlwind, each more tantalizing than the last. Some claimed he was a ruthless kingpin, others whispered he was a Robin Hood for the 21st century. But the truth? Well, that's what I was determined to uncover. I'd been on his trail for months, chasing shadows and half-truths, when out of the blue, I received an unexpected email. The subject line read, "An invitation from the Lion." My heart pounded as I opened it. The message was cryptic, just a time and coordinates to a secret tropical location, but it was signed with a single, unmistakable word: Dollar. I was stunned. The man who'd been a phantom in my investigation was suddenly inviting me to meet him. It was like being invited to dance with the devil in the pale moonlight. But why? Why would this enigmatic figure, who'd spent so much effort avoiding the limelight, suddenly agree to a meeting? I speculated on his motives. Was it a trap, a game of cat and mouse? Or was it a chance for him to tell his side of the story, to set the record straight? I couldn't be sure. All I knew was that this was an opportunity I couldn't pass up. The Lion was offering me a glimpse into his world, a chance to pull back the curtain and see the man behind the legend. So, with a mix of trepidation and excitement, I accepted his invitation. I was stepping into the unknown, venturing into a world of danger and mystery. but I was driven by my determination to uncover the truth, to reveal the real Dollar, the Lion of Pratt. The lion had invited me into his den, but why? Ever been led blindfolded through a tropical labyrinth? That's exactly where I found myself as the private jet's wheels kissed the ground, a sensation only surpassed by the humid air wrapping around me like a second skin. The scents were the first to hit me, a cocktail of exotic blooms and damp earth. It was intoxicating, a heady mixture that seemed to seep into every pore, making the blindfold feel less like a restriction and more like a gateway into a world of hidden senses. The symphony of the jungle was next, a cacophony of sounds that were both familiar and foreign. The distant hoot of tropical birds, the rustle of leaves underfoot, the distant roar of a waterfall, all of it played out against the backdrop of my own heartbeat. It was nature's orchestra, each sound a note in a melody that was as beautiful as it was terrifying. And the heat, oh, the heat! A tropical sun that seemed to dance on my skin, leaving trails of warmth in its wake. It was stifling, oppressive even, but it was also a constant reminder of where I was and what I was walking into. As for my fear and excitement, well, they danced a dangerous tango. Every step forward was a step into the unknown, a step closer to the Lion of Pratt. It was exhilarating, the adrenaline coursing through my veins, amplifying every sensation tenfold. But beneath it all was a layer of fear, a creeping dread that was as palpable as the tropical air around me. I was walking into the lion's den, a world away from the safety of my London flat. But it was too late to turn back now. This was the path I'd chosen, the path that led to the lion. And so, step by step, I ventured deeper into the labyrinth. The scents grew stronger, the sounds louder, the heat more intense. It was a sensory overload, a thrilling, terrifying journey into the heart of the unknown. Every step took me deeper into the lion's lair. Ever found yourself standing at the door of the unknown, heart pounding, mind racing? That's exactly where I found myself, at the threshold of a door that could very well lead to my doom or my triumph. A door that was the final hurdle in the tropical labyrinth, the gateway to the lion's den. As I stood there, a myriad of emotions swirled within me. I was a bundle of nerves, a cocktail of anticipation, fear, and curiosity. Anticipation for the story that was about to unfold, fear of the unknown, and curiosity about the man who had become an enigma, Dollar, the Lion of Pratt. This was the moment I had been chasing, the culmination of countless sleepless nights, endless research, and numerous dead ends. And now, it all boiled down to this single moment, the moment of truth, the moment where I would come face to face with the man behind the legend. The door before me was unremarkable, almost disappointing in its simplicity. No grandeur or pomp, just a solid wooden door with a brass knocker in the shape of a lion's head. It was almost as if it was mocking my anticipation, daring me to step across the threshold. My heart pounded in my chest, echoing the rhythm of the waves crashing against the shore in the distance. The salty sea air filled my lungs, reminding me of the tropical paradise I was in. But this was no vacation. I was here on a mission to unveil the truth, to expose the man behind the mask. I reached out, my hand trembling slightly, and grasped the brass knocker. It was cold to the touch, and somehow that grounded me. I was here, in the flesh, about to knock on the door of the man who had become my obsession. Taking a deep breath, I steeled myself. This was it. There was no turning back now. I lifted the knocker and let it fall, the sound echoing through the stillness. I knocked, my heart matching the rhythm on the door. The lion awaited. Ever seen a lion up close? It's a moment that sends shivers down your spine. The anticipation, the suspense, it's all too much. You see, it wasn't the door opening that hooked me. It was what lay beyond. Dollar, the Lion of Pratt. His presence was almost tangible, a force that pervaded the room, demanding attention without uttering a single word. It was as if his aura had a life of its own, a pulsating rhythm that echoed the beat of my pounding heart. The man was an enigma, a puzzle I was yet to solve. And as much as I'd love to detail his physical appearance, that's a story for another day. Finally, he broke the silence. The sound was rich and resonant, not unlike the roar of a lion. It enveloped me, wrapped itself around me like a comforting blanket in the midst of a snowstorm. "Welcome to my world." His voice echoed around me, and I knew then the real chase was about to begin.